Welcome back to The Conscious Conscience, where we dive into the shadows and explore the narrative shaping our collective imagination. Today, we're turning our antennas toward a more modern conspiracy that's taken on a life of its own: the alleged connection between 5G technology and mind control. Is it real? Let's trace the signals and see where they lead. First, we need to understand what 5G really is. Officially, it's the 5th generation of wireless technology, designed to increase speed and connectivity for our devices. But for some, it's not just a technological marvel. It's the centerpiece of a global conspiracy. The fear of 5G isn't new. When it was first introduced in 2019, it sparked widespread concerns over health risks like radiation exposure. These fears weren't entirely unfounded. After all, cell phone radiation and its effects on the human body have been studied for decades, with mixed and inconclusive results. But as 5G towers started popping up, especially during the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, whispers of something darker began to circulate. Have you seen those mysterious trees? It has to be something nefarious. Some believe that 5G isn't just hazardous, but that it's controlling us. These theories claim that the electromagnetic waves emitted by 5G towers can influence brain activity, alter moods, or even implant thoughts. So let's dig into the origins of this idea. One of the earliest references comes from a published book in 1976 titled Microwave Auditory Effects and Applications by Dr. Alan H. Frey, who discovered the so-called Frey Effect. Now, the Frey Effect is a legitimate, scientifically documented phenomenon. It's not pseudoscience or hearsay, so let's break that down. The Frey effect happens when certain frequencies of pulsed microwave radiation, think very short, controlled bursts, create a tiny amount of heat in the tissues of the head. This heat causes a phenomenon called thermoelastic expansion. Basically, the tissue in your skull expands ever so slightly, generating tiny pressure waves that travel into your inner ear, specifically the cochlea, which processes sound. These pressure waves are interpreted by your brain as clicking, buzzing, or chirping noises, even though no actual sound exists externally. Isn't that a little wild? And look, I get it. Some people might think, wait, am I hearing electricity? Personally, I always hear electricity, and do not get me started on fluorescent lights. But here's the thing. The Frey effect requires very specific conditions and frequencies, power levels, and pulsing patterns that don't happen in your everyday life during everyday moments. Certainly not from your Wi-Fi router or a 5G tower down the street. Maybe in an office building, with hundreds of fluorescent light bulbs, though. What's fascinating is how the Frey effect has been misinterpreted and exaggerated. It's often cited as proof that electromagnetic waves can control the brain. But in reality, the effect is limited to inducing simple sounds, not complex thoughts or mind control. If you want to dive deeper, check out the original research by Dr. Frey or explore journals on bioelectromagnetics. A great resource is the 1982 book Electromagnetic Man by Cyril Smith and Simon Best, which explores both fact and fiction about electromagnetic fields. So let's fast forward to the 21st century, and you have whistleblowers like Dr. Barry Trower, a former Royal Navy microwave weapons expert, who has spoken publicly about the potential misuse of microwave technology for mind control. Although mainstream science hasn't validated these claims, they've become foundational pillars for the 5G conspiracy. Then came the pandemic, a perfect storm of fear, uncertainty, and isolation created fertile ground for conspiracies to flourish. Videos circulated online claiming that 5G towers were spreading not just radiation, but the coronavirus itself. Others proposed that the towers were activating a hidden network of microchips implanted through vaccines. These ideas gained traction fueled by a distrust of governments, corporations, and mainstream media. One particularly viral moment came in 2020 when a YouTube video titled "Plandemic" linked 5G to global mind control efforts. Though widely discredited, its impact was undeniable, racking up millions of views before being taken down. Meanwhile, celebrities like Woody Harrelson and influencers on social media shared posts questioning 5G's safety, adding a layer of mainstream visibility to these theories. But why mind control? Why do these theories focus on the idea that 5G could manipulate us mentally? It's not a new fear. The concept of technological mind control dates back to the Cold War, when both the US and the Soviet Union conducted experiments on psychological manipulation. Programs like MK Ultra, where the CIA explored mind-altering substances and techniques, left a scar on public consciousness. It's not hard to see why people would connect those historical threads to today's advancements in technology. So what's the current state of this conspiracy? Well, it's evolving. As 5G becomes more integrated into our daily lives, the theories have expanded. Some claim that 5G towers are part of a broader surveillance network linked to artificial intelligence systems capable of monitoring and influencing human behavior. Others suggest that 5G is paving the way for a transhumanist agenda, merging humans with machines in ways we can barely comprehend today. Whether you're skeptical or intrigued, one thing is clear. The 5G and mind control conspiracy taps into deep-seated fears about control, technology, and the unknown. But how much of this is based in reality? How much is a reflection of our own anxieties about progress? And how much of this feels like a Ghost in the Shell fan fiction? That's where we're going to leave it for today. But don't worry, the story doesn't end here. Join us in our next episode as we dissect the science, the studies, and the skeptics to uncover the truth about 5G and mind control. Until then, stay curious, stay conscious, and maybe don't sleep with your cell phone. We'll see you next time.